Hey everybody, how's it going? It's your boy Nate. I want to say welcome back. If you are new to the channel, welcome. On this channel, we do talk about a lot of things when it pertains to your purpose. And we do talk about a lot of topics that help with masculinity, but if you are a woman, this channel will still be useful to you, especially with today's topic, and that's going to be the single biggest idol of today. Now, guys, this is something that a lot of people don't think about too much, especially in today's climate, right? In today's lifestyle. This is something that I think a lot of people have become desensitized to, right? Something that people don't think about as much, especially when times get hard. This is something that people need, or they feel like they need, really more than anything else. This is the love of this thing is the biggest downfall of humanity, right? Guys, you probably already guessed it, but that is money. Now, I'm not anti-money. I'm not against being wealthy. I'm not against having a lot of money, right? I don't think that's an inherently bad thing. It's good because you can use it for good things. You can use it to bless other people. You can use it to help others, right? You can use it to provide a home and food and all these things, right? But there's something bigger going on these days, guys. There's something more. There's a spirit of disillusionment. There's something moving through the world, especially the Western world these days. And it's been happening at a pretty rapid pace, but it's picked up especially over the past 5 years. The love of money has gotten out of control. What I mean by that, I never heard so many people obsess over money like I do these days, guys, and I used to be one of them. And some days it's hard not to, right? The fact that most things have jumped an incredible amount, right? The fact that most items, most household goods are now up about 50% or more in some cases. Don't even get me started on house prices, cars, all that, right? Don't get me started on how wages haven't kept up and how people are working 3 jobs to barely make it by. But guys, money is a huge topic, and the more I hear people talk about money, the more I hear people talk just in general, a lot of it revolves around money. How much money am I getting? How much money will I get? Everybody's looking for the next thing that makes the most money. And again, there's nothing wrong with wanting to pursue something that might make you more money. There might not be anything wrong with that at all. Maybe moving up in your job, right? Getting some experience, getting into a management position, right? Nothing wrong with that. But when everything in your life revolves around how much money can I get, we miss the picture. And guys, when we live in a time that most people are barely making it by, this becomes extremely apparent. This is something that I don't even know if most people know that they're obsessing over it. And I get it, guys, bills have to be paid. You have to provide, you have to do what you have to do. At the same time, don't let the love of money rule you. In fact, don't have a love of money. I'm going to tell you guys a quick story here, and I hope somebody finds this useful. There's a time in my life, I didn't grow up with a whole lot of money, right? My idea of money, I didn't really have any, right? I didn't really have a whole lot of financial literacy. I didn't understand essentially how it worked. I was just told to save money, right? Didn't know how investments worked. Didn't know how financial planning worked. I just was told, don't spend more than you make sure you save. Well, guys, years later, when I got to a point in my life where I made more money than I knew what to do with, and in retrospect, it wasn't a whole lot of money, but in some ways it was. But for me, it was a lot, and I didn't really know what to do with it, and I got complacent, and I started to spend it on things that I didn't need. And I became I didn't care, right? I thought I had everything in the world. I was just surrounding myself in comfort. Long story short, guys, I made some pretty poor financial choices. And those financial choices, guys, when I look back on them, they did not take that long to make, right? Probably a matter of 6 months, a year, if that. And it takes years in some cases to bounce back from that, right? There was a time in my life where I was living on what you might call red line for a while. And there was times where the money, I was so focused on the money. There was a time where I was so concerned. I was so anxious I couldn't sleep. I was so anxious I didn't know if I was going to have enough money for gas to put in my car to go do my job so I could make money for food. I didn't know if I should spend it on food or gas, right? And so I would go long periods of time without eating. But somehow, guys, God provided a way. Somehow, right? I say that like, how could it happen? But he always makes a way. And I hear a lot of people obsessing over the fact if they don't have a huge savings account, if they don't have everything figured out, if they don't have huge retirement accounts, if, they're not ready for retirement at age 30, if they don't have everything they think they need, right? You guys would be very surprised what you can go without and what you actually need, right? And so many people get caught up in what they don't have now, and they get worried, and it brings on anxiety. And we live in a world, on one side, there's consumerism, where we're told that we should have these things to fit in. But what about the people that don't care about consumerism, right? Because there's quite a bit of people out there who don't care if they have the latest shoes or bag or car, right? Those people will probably focus more on comfort and security and safety, right? And the Bible talks about this a lot, especially in Proverbs. A lot of people will become very focused on their security or the allure, the illusion of their money being their security. And guys, that couldn't be anything further from the truth. Your money does not really do anything for you. I know there's going to be some people who say, well, money can buy this and money can buy that, and money can buy medical, expenses. It can cover things. And I get that. I do. It's wise if you can have money. Don't get me wrong. We're told to be wise with what we have. But guys, we are moving into a time, and I don't know if it's the end of days, right? I don't know if it's just one of those economic cycles, but we're moving into a time where people are so obsessed with money. I've heard people who go to church, they live a pretty good life, who will obsess and talk about money like if they don't make more money, that they're going to lose everything, right? How you always need more money. They're always going around telling people, well, this is expensive, can't do this, can't do that. Got to be careful. A lot of couples who are very well off are making excuses for why they can't have children, right? And if that's their choice, that's their choice. But what I'm just starting to hear is a lot of people are idolizing money. But here's the trick, guys. It's never going to be enough. Money has become an idol. People are sacrificing their self-respect, their values, their morals, their ethics for money. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with wanting to move up in your company, wanting to get more skills, wanting to do something that might pay you more money. But let's put a spin on this, guys. What if, and I know some people watching this have probably been in this position, but what if there comes a time where you actually have to take a cut in your money? What if there comes a time where mandates come out, right? Like a certain mandate that might have just passed, 2, 3, 4 years ago. Certain things that people did against really their own will or wishes because they felt like they had to keep their job, right? Or they had to because that was the quote unquote right thing to do. And now they're finding out that there might be a lot of negative effects and associations from these things, right? What if it is a little bit more than that, though? What if it goes against, I don't know, maybe some sort of religious rule, right? Where you can't talk about Jesus. If you talk about Jesus, then you won't be able to buy or sell, right? End of times kind of stuff, right? We're moving in that direction. But what if it comes to that, guys? What are you willing to sell? Are you willing to sell part of your soul? Because a lot of people are doing it. They're doing it happily. A lot of people don't have a fear or a knowledge of God. And so why should they care if they have to lie, if they have to cheat, steal, if they have to do what they have to do to make more money at the expense of others? Guys, you would be surprised. The world, most world leaders, right? Obviously they want power. Power is a huge part of it. But a lot of it goes back to money. A lot of it goes back to money because money holds power. It makes things move. But see, we get so caught up on the money and we don't remember what it's like to not have money. I saw this clip today that explained how people treat you when you have money, or how the world treats you when you have money. Everybody wants you to basically give them their money, right? Salespeople, advertisements. But when you don't have money, you don't have to worry about those things. You don't have to worry about people coming after you. People will genuinely treat you differently. So guys, what is it worth? What is money really worth? Because I'm here to tell you again from my personal experience that when I was living in that life of redline for a while, when I had nothing, God provided. God provided when there was no reason, there was no numerical, logical reason why. Guys, I can't explain to you. I literally cannot explain to you how I always was able to make it through week to week for months at a time. Months, right? To this day, I don't know how. I don't know how to explain it. And I give all the credit to God because He is the one who provides. When I had nothing, see, I got to this point where I stopped relying on myself. I stopped going, okay, I was like, I can't do this by myself anymore. I've been trying, and look where it's gotten me, right? It's been all about me. It's been all about Nathan, right? And so God showed me a different way. He showed me to rely on Him, to have faith in Him. He showed me grace. He also showed me to have faith in Him despite the circumstances, right? And thankfully, to this date, never taken any sort of experimental thing, right? Never had to do that. To this day, I've never had to sacrifice a lot of values or morals or ethics. Sure, there's been times where I could have been a better person, absolutely. I could have not danced around, right? There was a time where I was in sales for a couple of years, right? And especially in hindsight, looking back, there were definitely opportunities that I could have been much more truthful. And that's why if you are in sales or you are in business, guys, I'm telling you, a lot of people get into those industries because of the love of money. I can't tell you how many people I was around where their whole life revolved around money. You want to be in a environment with a lot of sociopaths, guys. That's a great place to be, is with a sales environment. Because people will say, do whatever they have to. A lot of people will convince themselves like that what they're doing is the right thing, even if they lie, right? Like it's second nature. It doesn't matter, right? The sale is the only thing that matters. The money is king. But guys, it's not. Because when I was at my lowest, God showed me how great He was and how great His power is. And through the months and at this point, a couple years really that have followed, He has shown me it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how much money you're going to get. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, money doesn't matter, guys. If the world falls apart tomorrow, if it all goes away, right? If everything collapses, God will provide for his people. God said that he knows every bird that falls from the sky, every hair on your head. He knows you by a name that you don't even know yet. He knows you. He knows what you need. He will provide for you. That's why I made a video about not worrying, not being anxious, because he will provide, guys. Money won't do it. If you live your life going for money, you'll end up soulless, empty. And if you're a believer of God, if you're following after Christ, guys, that'll leave you in an even emptier pit, because that spirit, the Holy Spirit, is in you. And then when you try to suppress it, it convicts you. And so your life is in turmoil. And God will eventually pull you away from that. It might be extremely painful, right? Hopefully you don't have to get to that point. But God will make a way. So don't idolize the money. Guys, people have sold so much of themselves. They're selling their humanity. They're selling so many things about them for money. For money, guys. And when you chase money, it's never enough. I remember there was times I was making more money certain months than I knew what to do with. But it was all gone within a couple weeks. I'd get it, I'd spend it, right? I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know what to do with it. So become wise. Get knowledge for yourself. The Bible talks about, God says, my people perish for their lack of knowledge. That's a profound statement, guys. A lot of us believers, followers of Christ, we want to be ignorant of knowledge. We want to bury our heads in the sand. But seek first the kingdom of righteousness. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, right? Go after what is right. Go after what is wise. Go after what is godly. And he'll give all these things to you, guys. He'll give you what you need in the correct amounts. You won't have too much. You won't have too little. You will have exactly enough. And then you will learn to rely on him. You will learn to trust in God despite the circumstances, guys. And I have found so much joy. I'm here to tell you, I found so much joy in the joy of the Lord, guys, in some of my worst financial moments. That was when I truly clung to him, when I really realized I don't have anything. It's all from him, and he made a way. He provided. He always made my path straight. He always provided something out of the blue at the last minute. Guys, he will provide. So don't be like the rest of the world that thinks that the money is what's going to save them, that this money is the God, right? Because we might be heading towards a time, who knows, where we might have to do or forego our individuality and our uniqueness as people to get enough money to survive in this world, right? In this culture, in this society. There might come a time where you have to choose between being, basically a member of society or being an outcast at the expense of selling your soul, of not naming the Lord Jesus as your Lord, not following Christ, not following good things. And guys, I don't think it's going to come, I'll end the video with this, I don't think it's going to come as this very obvious sort of, denounce Christ and you'll live. Maybe it will. I think it'll be more subtle than that. I don't think it'll have to be as direct as that. I think it'll be more like, hey, these are the new rules. This is how things are going to be. And you're either going to follow this or you're not. Right? And in following those things, you're basically going to be living a life that is against God and his rules, guys. This life is quick. This life is so quick. The only thing that really matters on this earth, guys, is how we can show the love of Christ to everybody around us. It's the people, it's the connections that we make, it's the love of Christ that we pour out to those around us. People on their deathbeds aren't caring about money at that point. It's too late. It's over. It's whatever. So guys, don't think, don't idolize, don't obsess, don't worry about the money. Pray, 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 plead with God. He will make a way for you. It might get bad, right? The circumstances, guys, I'm telling you, I'm still in some ways coming back from it. But I have a wisdom, a knowledge, and understanding. I'm moving in a way that hopefully one day I can give back to a lot of people. I can share things, right? I can share knowledge, I can share wisdom, I can share finances, I can share a lot, right? It's like I wouldn't have known unless I made those mistakes. So be patient. God is patient with you. Be patient with yourself. Do what you can do, but always know that He will provide a way for you. So guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope that if you need anything, if you have any comments, concerns, questions, that you'll let me know in the comments below. But I'll see y'all at the next one.